Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_Access. Joined alongside Tim back in the air conditioning in Green Bay after being at camp all day long. I know it was a hot one out there, and I'm sure everybody will start following in here in a minute. We went live just about 30 minutes early to get things cranked up as we were obviously doing I think we did 2.5 hour stream, something like that earlier, right at 2 hours. So that was a lot of fun. You guys go back and check that out. So today what we're going to do is a more organized approach and basically go through and give you all the information from the fourth training camp practice. What that means is we'll give you the injury updates. We'll give you the offensive line rotations. We'll give you the defensive rotations. Everything that happened at camp today, we'll just kind of give you a very, very detailed version. So you'll come away from this episode knowing exactly what it is that happened at training camp today. Tim will fill in the gaps for us as we go along as well. So before we do that, need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for us. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into Packers Total Access, thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. What we are fans just like you in here talking Packers on a daily basis. During the season, we got all kinds of different shows that we do. We'll do pregame shows, postgame shows. We'll do PFF breakdowns at the end of every week, starting with Monday and Tuesday's episodes. We'll take you into game planning for the next upcoming opponent. We'll do film breakdown, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell notifications on so you'll be notified every time we do go live, and share it with a friend if you don't mind. So we got Jacob joining us now, who's got a very, very lively shirt over there, Jacob. That's nice, sir. Where'd you get that from?
Actually, it's if you can tell, it's got my dog's face on it.
Nice.
I haven't told the chat. My dog unfortunately had a large heart tumor diagnosed a few months ago, and actually 2 weeks ago, almost over 2 weeks ago, the vet told me that I had to put him down that night and that he wouldn't live. He is thriving right now, and he's doing very, very well. So I'm very blessed to have that. So that's all I'll say about that.
Shout out to Loki. It's a ladies' man over there, Tim. You know that. It is Loki, right, Jacob? Little delay. All right, we'll get it straightened out. Jacob, calm down. It's going to be okay. A little bit. This is the part of the episode where Jacob gets angry.
His name's Luca. Luca.
Sorry. That's what I was thinking. As soon as I said it, you looked at me. I'm like, uh-oh. That's like it's like calling the lady friend the wrong name. You know what I'm saying? Not a good look. Not a good look, fellas.
Don't put that name in my mouth right there.
Everybody following in now to the chat. Good to see y'all. Hopefully you had a great day. Hit that like button on the way in. Let's dive into it, man. Jacob, I was telling Tim, we're just going to break down everything in an organized fashion. As you know, earlier on our live stream, it was like herding cats, just trying to get the information as it came in real time. Although we did get great feedback on that live stream. So thank you for joining me with that, Jacob. Let's jump into it. Tim, before we do, let me get your take first of all, before we get into everything in this article. What stood out to you today, man, now that you got to get home and get a ice cold drink and sit under the AC for a couple of hours? What stood out to you at camp today, man?
The heat, the heat. And I think the willingness of every single guy on that practice field to just grin and bear it and grit through it and put together a really good practice. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty as we go here. Obviously we had kind of a historic day. We had both teams doing a set of push-ups to close out practice today. So that's good, I think, right? That means a draw. That means, or I don't know, we should have a winner each practice. I'm not sure. But what really stood out to me the most, again, was Coach Covington and his hands-on approach. And also the way he works really well with Coach Ogobasi as well. Those two in tandem, working with that defensive front, I think we're going to see big changes this year, guys. And I know that's been a big gripe from a lot of the fan base is that front and that quote-unquote pass rush or lack thereof or whatever you want to call it. I'm seeing changes happening in real time every day. If you go hang out by the fence like me, man, and watch those guys work. It's something to see. So that really stood out. That, and of course, Stack, Big Nas Stackhouse, man. That guy is a beast among men. You get close to him, man. It's there's limited shade out there, but if you stand close enough and you're near Nazir Stackhouse, you'll get a little bit of shade out there on a sunny afternoon. No worries.
Exactly. 2-0 for this in the chat says, I love the energy from everyone at camp. Everybody just wants to work without distraction. It's more refreshing than high quality H2O on a day like this.
Get some high quality H2O.
Right. Ran off with a voodoo woman named Phyllis.
Hey, the foosball.
All right, let's get into it, guys. Overview of practice number 4. The Green Bay Packers held their 4th training camp practice on Sunday following an off day on Saturday. Monday's practice will be the first with pads, allowing for better evaluation of players, especially in pass protection and fitting up on opponents, as noted by head coach Matt LaFleur. Tim, are you going to be at that padded practice tomorrow as I try to adjust my mouse wire over here?
Does a bear crap in the woods? You know I will.
They
Actually,
do.
A bear usually craps in Chicago too,
Yes. That is a fact there. So
yeah, I'll be there to answer your question like a normal human. Yes, I will be there.
So I don't know, look down and I'm like, my mouse cord was, I don't know, curled up around 17 different things over here. I'm like, why is my mouse not moving?
It's so exciting though to get this close, and now we're on the eve of padded practice, and these last couple of years, I would say normally around this time, like, oh boy, now the real practice starts. The pads are coming on. It's going to get real. Man, it's been real since day one. Like, these guys are going full bore, full throttle since day one, and it's refreshing to really see. So if you guys, are out here and get a chance to go to camp, at least for a day, go experience it for yourself. It's really fun to watch these guys working as a unit.
Yeah, and this might be the stat of the day right here, and I do believe this is accurate. 2-0 for this says, I think Caleb Williams has thrown more picks than Brandon McManus has made field goals. And just so you know, Brandon McManus has made every field goal he's kicked to the best of my knowledge. So, Jacob, what do you think, man? What stood out to you as we broke down the show earlier today before we get into the injury updates here from today's camp practice?
Man, it's just it seems like everybody has a common goal. Like Tim said, kind of like these guys aren't wasting time this year. And in previous years, it seems like maybe that, we had I don't want to say that we were sissy footing around kind of thing. I really cleaned up my language right there. I almost said something real bad. I just think that these guys have an understanding that there's a goal, and it's not, to make it deep in the playoffs. There's not a goal to win the division. There's a goal to win the championship here, to bring Lombardi home. And I think that everybody on this team understands that. And it would seem like that's kind of a given every year. It's not. It really isn't. And I think that this team understands what it takes, what they're going to have to dedicate themselves to be in this preseason, in the offseason, into the actual season to actually make that happen. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of individual work that everybody has to do. They can't be too proud of can't have too much pride in themselves to realize that like they need to get better in multiple ways. We've heard Tucker Kraft say how he has to get better. Jaden Reed has talked about how he has to improve on certain things. Jordan Love, obviously the leader of the helm here, has talked about how he knows that what he has to do in the offseason to make sure that he has the best product to put on the field. And it's nice to see that that they're like right here, like Coach Glenn saying, they're setting that tone early. We want to make sure that we know that there's one goal in mind and everybody has that same like mind feeling. So I'm excited about
our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
That's right. As Jen Wright says in here, got to keep that belt to ass. That's exactly right, Mrs. Rice. Got to keep it going. All right, injury updates. Players back at practice included left guard Aaron Banks, who's limited to individual drills. Running back Amar Johnson participating in practice. All right. Savion Williams, who missed the previous practice due to a concussion, went through individual work. Now, is that true, Tim? You did not see him in like any kind of 11-on-11 scenario, right?
No. And, in my defense, like I'm obsessed with the defense. So, I saw mostly defense football today. But I did see every time I saw him, he was not doing anything team activity wise. And I would anticipate that would probably be more of the same tomorrow. Just my speculation, if the pads are coming on and he's in the whatever the concussion protocol is during the preseason, I'm not sure what that is, or training camp concussion protocol. I'm sure it's similar to, anything else during the season. So he's probably got to go through that process before they're really going to cut him loose with team activities, I would think.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so players still not practicing. Quay Walker with the ankle, though doing individual work with a helmet on, as you can see here in this shot that Tim got. Once again, same as yesterday, Tim, he was out there hitting the sled a little bit, right, and doing some other agility drills, and now you're seeing him again pretty much in the same spot, right? So what do you think, man, based off what you've seen with Quay Walker? And I know this isn't really an educated guess. I get it. We have no inside information. You think he'll put the pads on tomorrow, or do you think they'll wait until later in the week or maybe next week, Quay Walker? What's the vibe you're getting there, man?
I don't know. It's so tough to read. I can tell you that when I saw him doing these drills, he did a little bit of hands drills, catching some interceptions, kind of simulated cutting and movement on that ankle. And then he was doing fumble recovery drills and a lot of agility stuff. Everyone's looking at how he's moving around. And I really think we're getting closer to that point where, if he feels like he's ready to go, I think they may just let him do it. But to answer your question, in my opinion, maybe not tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe more of what we saw today, maybe the helmet, no pads, and just doing more rehab. And there's no reason to rush him right now. I mean, we have enough linebackers out here running around. There is no reason to rush Quay back at all.
And you're wanting to get as much of a look at Tyron Hopper as you can in this camp, third-round pick to take a big step. Isaiah Simmons, you want to make sure you get him enough reps. Isaiah McDuffie is kind of in the camp, in my opinion, that put him on the back burner a little bit. Let's see what we got in these other guys, because we kind of seen what Duff can do.
Zay McDuffie has earned that. He's earned that right, I think, but based on the way he's played these past couple of seasons for us. And, I think it's a good thing. We got to keep our core pieces healthy,
Yeah, with Quay, Jacob, for me, man, it kind of feels like there's a chance we could see him a little later in the week, maybe by Wednesday or Thursday's practice, but I'm kind of feeling like it's going to be next week before we truly see him out there in 11-on-11.
Maybe it's family night, guys. What a treat that would be if maybe he runs around on family night a little more active and then go into that next week,
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Jacob? You think it's going to take a week or so like Jen's saying here?
I hope it does, honestly. I don't want us to force him back. We've obviously seen what it is to have with Quay Walker playing at when he's at his best. That's a pretty good linebacker right there. And obviously we talked about how difference maker it can be when him and Cooper are together. So yeah, I don't want to risk anything going into the regular season by forcing him back too quickly. I want to have those guys absolutely ready to go. And do I want him on the field? Of course, obviously I do, but I want him to come back when he's ready. Don't force it. Like Tim said, just make sure that we have the best 11 going into that defensive, any sort of game. I want the best 11 going in. And that means that Quay Walker is a part of that. And I need him to be absolutely sure that when he comes back, he's ready to do it on his terms. And I can't tell you guys how excited I am to see him and Coop together, both of them healthy, right? So let's just make sure that he is healthy when he steps on that field.
Definitely. So other players still not practicing. Christian Watson with the knee. Obviously, we don't expect him back until a minimum of probably week 5, and it'll probably be much later than that, to be honest with you. But I don't expect anything at least until week 5, week 6 when they come out of that bye, right? So we'll see what happens there. Colin Oliver with the hamstring still out. John Williams with the back, he's still out. And Elton Jenkins listed with the back injury. Of course, we know
we already know what's up with that. The back, the Brinks truck up injury. Yeah. I wanted to mention Colin Oliver real quick if I could, because you asked me at the top of the show what stood out to me, and I forgot to mention him. Colin Oliver dealing with this hamstring. Talk about someone who wants to play football really bad and is fully engaged. We had video of him hyping up the teammates during the water break. He does these drills where, he doesn't have the helmet on. He's not allowed to really run, full speed with the guys, but he's mimicking it and he's staying engaged and he's focusing on what's being taught out there. This is a guy that I would keep my eye on as camp progresses, because hopefully he's healthy and back really soon, because I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do out there. I really am.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So again, that's your injury update from today's training camp practice. Jen Wright says, I like Oliver being on the field watching intently. And yeah, we noticed that too, Tim, when we seen your video of him being very engaged. It was actually Jacob pointed it out while we were live on air here. So
Quay Walker is the same way. When they break off into team activities and they start running, Quay is fully engaged behind that defense and keeping his head in the game. So it's good to see that with guys that are out right now and rehabbing, but staying focused on what's in front of them.
Yeah, before we get into this,
I was going to do it.
Yeah, before we get into offensive line rotations, let me just scroll back up for a second. So I don't know if you guys seen it. There was a tweet that went out before this one. Evidently, there's a new one now. Rasul Douglas just tweeted, "Thank you, God," and Coach Lynn said, "Could it be?" There was a tweet he had put out of a picture of him with an interception in a Packers uniform, right? Like back when he played for the Packers, and that got a lot of run. Wonder what's going on there, because they said that Rasul has gotten offers from multiple teams, and he's just turned down those offers. So, Listen, do I think Rasul is the same player he was when he was on the Packers roster? No. Do I think he's better than, say, a Kamal Hadden or a Kalen King? I do. I think he is.
That's 100% fair. I agree.
I wouldn't want him starting over Carrington Valentine unless he won the job, of course, right? But then again, Carrington may not be starting either, right? It might end up being Keyshawn and all that. So, yeah. So you guys keep your eye on Twitter. If something breaks, let us know, and we'll cut away to it for sure. So appreciate that, Coach. Thank you for the update there. Starting offensive line combinations today, Tim. Jacob says, with Aaron Banks not participating in team portions, the starting unit was Rasheed Walker at left tackle, Jordan Morgan at left guard, Sean Ryan at center, Jacob Monk at right guard, and Zach Tom at right tackle. It seems like they're really giving Jacob Monk a lot of looks at right guard, and it's kind of weird because center's his natural position. What it tells me is Jacob Monk is kind of trending, and it's early in camp. He's trending towards maybe not what they're looking for at center at the NFL level. I could be wrong. Or it could be that Sean Ryan is showing a little bit of a flash at center, like, hey, you know what? Let's get as much work there as we can, and let's solidify that backup guard spot. That's the beautiful thing about drafting Anthony Belton in the second round. You got Jordan Morgan in the first round last year. If for some reason Sean Ryan fits the bill for being that backup center, Jacob, then you love your chances with Jordan Morgan or Anthony Belton plugging in at right guard. That makes sense. So I think they're just trying to get Jacob Monk kind of coached up at guard. Seems like Sean Ryan might be your backup center this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously it's early in the season, and I feel like the Packers like to do this. They kind of just make some crazy moves, just trying to see if a puzzle piece fits in a way that they didn't necessarily think about. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to get too overhyped at that, but I really do. When we drafted Jacob Monk, wasn't he a Duke guy? I believe.
Yeah, that's correct.
If I'm not mistaken. And he played alongside, I can't remember the guy's name, but a very good offensive lineman that ended up getting drafted a lot earlier than Jacob Monk did, obviously. And I really do think that Jacob Monk could be the center of the future. I'm not going to, I wouldn't bet the house on it or anything like that. But the fact that they're letting him see if he can play other positions, I love that. I really do enjoy the fact that they want to see what they have, right, with that group there. And I think that the best thing you can say about the Packers is that they have guys that are multifaceted. They always want to find a guy that can play one position, two positions, three positions. You look at Zach Tom, you look at Elton Jenkins. They absolutely love guys that are able to kind of plug and play along that line. And if he's another guy that can be, a backup, even if it's a third string right guard or a backup left guard, whatever it is, in addition to the fact that he can be the backup center, let's go. Like that. That's to me makes him that much more valuable.
Yeah, fishy things in the chat says, hey, y'all, watch the show all the time, first time in your live. And he went on to say, love the show, especially love when you break down the tape and explain the X's and O's. Hey, thanks for swinging through, Fishy. Appreciate you jumping aboard there, buddy. Good to have you in here tonight. I see the regular crews jumping in now going, what in the hell? We're already live? What are we doing? So we just thought we would go live a little early tonight, seeing that we already did a 2-hour stream earlier today. Let's just get this started a little earlier. So Also, what happened today, Tim, you probably noticed this if you did glance up there to the offensive side from time to time. When Jordan Morgan moved to left tackle, the adjustments included. So now Rasheed Walker comes out. Jordan Morgan goes to left tackle. Travis Glover at left guard. Waiting for Emilio. I think I just heard him scream from another state. Travis Glover to left guard. Jacob Monk goes to center. Sean Ryan at right guard. Okay, so there you're starting to kind of see the pecking order. And again, this is why you do this in training camp. It may not shake out completely like this, but it seems like that's the current order. Sean Ryan briefly dropped out for a play or two, and when that happened, Travis Glover took over at right guard.
What do you think that was? I think somebody was probably gassed a little bit in the heat. Maybe he had to lean over and puke or something. We don't know yet. Get a confirmation on that. What happened to Sean Ryan?
Yeah, Sean Ryan. Yeah, exactly. We need to do a little research on Nacho Libre over there. Maybe he had too many chips. I don't know. But Travis Glover took over at right guard. So you're seeing they really like Travis Glover as one of those backup swing guards is what it seems like. You never hear about Travis Glover playing tackle, though. That's for sure. Yeah. Right. So it seems like they truly see him as a backup guard. So love that I don't love that Sean Ryan dropped out, but the positive in that whole thing is you get to kind of see how they see the rest of the offensive line in depth. And Travis Glover in his second year expressed increased comfort, all right, noting a better understanding of plays and personnel compared to the rookies. So
and we shouldn't make fun of Sean Ryan too much because it was only a play or two, right? Like it says. So that's good that he's right back out there, right?
Right. Coach Lynn says, why no Belton yet? Coach, I would imagine he's kind of behind. From the contract and all that. And that's just kind of what it feels like to me. There's no injury there. So it might be their way of kind of how they did Adrian Cooper last year. You miss a little bit of time, whether it's injury, contract, what have you. They're probably holding him back just a touch. And I have no problem with it. I really do. I do like what 2-0 for this said. He said when we mentioned the Nacho Libre, he said they benched him because he only believes in science. If you guys have not seen Nacho Libre, you're missing out. I'm telling you right now. Anything else on the offensive line you guys want to add to that conversation? I think it's pretty straightforward. Again, just to kind of see right now they see Jordan Morgan as the backup left tackle, it seems, right? So that's interesting information. And you notice, man, you got a lot of stability there. You got Sean Ryan that can plug in back up center, right? You got Jordan Morgan who can play guard or left tackle. You got Travis Glover, who they see as a swing guard, right? We haven't even seen Anthony Belton yet. One thing you don't see on this list hardly is Zach Tom's name mentioned. That dude's just going to play right tackle and everybody get the heck out of the way. So, which, by the way, did y'all see Rashawn Slater's contract earlier today?
Oh, yeah.
I did not, no.
Woo. Yeah. Jacob, how much?
Shout out to Steve Cook. I think it was Steve Cook on X was talking about that. How much – boy, it sure looks like a discount now that we see this contract, right? I think we got a good deal on Zach Tom for sure.
Jacob, do you remember Zach Tom's guaranteed money was $30 million, right?
Yep.
Take a guess at what Rashawn Slater's guaranteed money was.
How long's the contract?
Same. Let's just call it the same. It's about the same, about a 4-year deal.
Boy, what did he get? 50 mil guaranteed?
More.
More? That's all right. It's 70.
I think he got 90 million. Tim, is that correct?
Hey, something like that. 90 or 95, something like that.
Guaranteed. Now, again, you'd say, "Whoa, that's triple the amount that Zach Tom got." Right? That's where you got to be careful because who's putting the information out? Right? Is it practical? Is it actual guarantee? All those things come into play. But yeah, I seen that and went, "Whoo, Goody cooked." Goody cooked, and as Coach Lynn says, give Russ Ball his flowers here. Russ Ball is the man. Yeah, definitely. All right, so there's your offensive line update on the day. Let's get to the defensive side of the ball and defensive changes, all right? The first and second defensive units remain mostly the same, but Isaiah Simmons took nickel reps, all right? So next to Isaiah McDuffie on some reps, next to Adrian Cooper on others. Previously, Simmons – but yeah, there it is, 92 million. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, yeah. Let a brother hold a Benny. Previously, Simmons had been the Sam linebacker in the base defense with Quay Walker out. So now you're starting to see guys. They're pressing Isaiah Simmons into that nickel spot a little bit, seeing what he can handle there, right? How he fits into that nickel 4-2-5. Tim, Did you notice any of this? Anything stick out to you in terms of Isaiah Simmons? Because he and Nate Hobbs, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're kind of still in the show on defense. People are really excited about those two.
They really are. They're having a great camp so far. They really are. And it's fun to watch these guys. With Simmons, I like the move to kind of see, because we know he's kind of been victim of being shuffled around a lot. But hey, this is that time of year you're going to see different looks with your guys, especially a guy like Simmons who wants to play his way onto this team. Maybe as a bubble guy, I don't know. At this point, I think he's kind of making a name for himself here. These first handful of practices. It is cool to see the different looks, with him going, more nickel looks now. I mean, hey, maybe this is great timing for, this time next week when maybe Quay Walker's back into the fold, and now we can see all these guys rotating in and playing next to each other. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and fishy things with the door fee dono there. Thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate you. Jacob, what do you think? Anything you want to add here to the linebacker room? Obviously, with Quay out, it's nice to see Simmons start to get some of those nickel reps. And we kind of talked about in the pre-show here, Isaiah McDuffie may take a slight step back to see what they got with Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, I do think that I'm excited about the linebacker room. That's always been my personal favorite area of the defense, just that I've always just kind of felt a connection to. Ever since we had AJ Hawk, I haven't felt like we had a standout linebacker that absolutely was like the staple of this defense. I do believe that Edgerrin Cooper is that guy. I think that Quay Walker is a very formidable linebacker, that if he has all things firing, that he's going to be doing very, very well. I love the idea of Isaiah Simmons coming in here and absolutely being some sort of threat, man. I mean, God, you may have to scheme, because he again is the type of guy where he never got to settle down into one sort of position. And I really do understand that. I do. Asking the guy to do too many things because he's quote unquote like multifaceted is unfair to him. I really do believe that. And like people said, like he's been a bust. Guy was drafted, if I'm not mistaken, 8th overall. He's not a bust, right? This guy has talent. It's just that sometimes a coach, a scheme, a team needs to use you in the right way. I really believe to the depth of my core that Jeff Hafley is going to figure out what Isaiah Simmons does, and he's going to use him and exploit that. Mm-hmm. It's going to be great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to be just fine, man. Moving along. Staying on defense, though, love this shot of Nate Hobbs and Matt LaFleur. I think this was from yesterday, I believe. And cornerback depth chart. All right, so the top 3 spots confirmed as Nate Hobbs, Keyshawn Nixon, and Carrington Valentine. That's cornerback spots, right? So it seems like what you've got is Nate Hobbs and Keyshawn Nixon on the outside and rotating Carrington Valentine in and out. It seems like those 3 are above everyone else when you're talking about outside corners, right? The next 3 spots likely include Bo Melton and Kamal Hadden as outside corners, Kalen King as the nickel, noted for a strong start to camp, especially post-wrist surgery, showing toughness despite smaller size as per Matt LaFleur. Now, obviously, when you talk about Kalen King predominantly playing the nickel, I don't know how accurate that is, Tim, or if you have noticed it or not, but Javon Bullard running with the ones in the nickel. To me, it seems like the 4 spots that are locked in right now are outside corners, Nate Hobbs, Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, and then the nickel spot being Javon Bullard. Outside of that, anything can happen, I believe.
I would agree with that for sure. And if there's any truth to the Rasul Douglas speculation, I think that'll probably be the end of Bo Melton's run as a cornerback on this squad. So keep our eyes peeled on this room. But really the real story is, I think, the emergence of Kalen King, a guy that we wanted to see this last year, and we didn't really get a chance to do that. So I'm looking forward to him getting some reps too, and hopefully seeing him, running with the ones once in a while by the time we get through training camp.
Yeah. What do you think, Jacob? You see anything different there with the cornerback room? We can flash the depth chart up here real quick just to kind of give us some names. But I don't know. That's kind of the way I see it there. I did not expect Nate Hobbs to just, hey, you're going to play outside, don't even go near the slot. But it makes sense with our boy Bullard being a second-round pick.
Yeah, I guess if anything, I would say I'm more surprised at how well Nate Hobbs just kind of came in here, and he's honestly doing exactly what I hoped he would be. It was just being an absolute physical corner to the point where almost like you're doing too much. Like you can't hit Dontavian Wicks over the middle, hitting him on a crossing route and lay him out. Like you gotta pull back a bit. I want to be able to talk to the cornerback group and be like, hey, you have to pull back. I don't want him to have to get more into it. Does that make sense? Like I don't want to have to explain to them that they need to have more aggressiveness. Like that is something, again, I referenced it multiple times. Tim, you can remember, I'm sure, back in the day when we had Charles Woodson, Al Harris, Tramon Williams, guys that were just physically.
Morgan Burnett.
Oh, hey, that's a good name drop. Right
Here's
there.
the guy.
Big B.
Hey, Big B he made some plays every now and then. All right, he did.
Hey, I like the Tory Big B.
Well, if you're talking about guys lowering the boom, Morgan Burnett was my dude for sure. I mean,
Absolutely,
he was definitely not. That was back when you could hit guys over the middle too. You know.
Yeah, and that's the point.
He was known as Atari belt the ass Big B in our household. I'm just telling you that.
I am excited about this group. You know, going into the season, it's weird how your mentality can change. I was very scared that this this cornerback room would be the liability in the season. I am now thinking myself that, man, this could be like the biggest, like we did last year with the safety room, how we completely flipped it. I think we may have done that in the cornerback room, just with the amount of young talent we have, the UDFAs, guys like Hobbs. I am over the moon. I don't know about you guys, but I am over the moon about what Hobbs has done so far. I love the fact that they're saying like, hey, he's almost too aggressive. Like, again, I love that. I keep going, bro. Keep going. Punch it. That's what I want.
Yep. And, you know, it's kind of like, I mean, you could talk about this in any sport. It doesn't matter. Baseball, you know, hockey, you know, NASCAR. Like in NASCAR, they talk about all the time. You know, if you've got someone who's kind of driving reckless, as long as they're fast, you can rein them in. But you can't take a driver that's cautious and teach them to be fast. It's so hard to do, right? With Nate Hobbs, let Coach LaFleur just kind of rein him in. You would much rather somebody care too much, have a little too much fire, rather than you always having to kind of amp them up. I think that's huge, Jake, for sure.
That was something reminiscent of Mike Daniels' time here. You know, he was a guy that was like that, you know, and kind of had to rein him in sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, let's move on to day 3 rookie roles here. All right, so Warren Brinson and Barron Sorrell, mostly with the third-team defense, but saw rotational reps with the second unit today. Micah Robinson with the third defense as an outside cornerback. So just a little update on some of those late-round guys. One name that's not mentioned here, maybe he'll be mentioned in a minute, I'm not sure. Nazir Stackhouse is becoming the fan favorite. Tim had some shots at him up close and personal. And when you see him stand next to Kenny Clark, he made Kenny Clark look small, didn't he? That's crazy.
I don't know if I'd say small, but smaller than you think, because you know, normally Kenny is the biggest dude in the room, right? But yeah, I mean, this guy is an absolute truck, man. It's an amazing thing to experience that close. I mean, standing up by the fence and just, I mean, massive human being, as Jacob would call them, Mr. CEO of the HMM club over there. We have a term for that. But yeah, no, it's fun to watch him develop. And I'll tell you what, for a UDFA, that guy is focused, man. Focused and engaged, takes direction well, wants to get better every day. And he's playing his ass off out there.
Thick.
Amen. Can't wait to see it when the pads come on. Yep.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you think about Coach Lynn asking, how is he size-wide compared to Brinson?
Oh, give me a minute while I scroll through my camera roll, see if I can find a couple of pictures of them guys standing next to each other. I mean, let's just put it this way. They're all beasts. All of these guys are beasts. And even the guys that we're familiar with from last year that have, you know, cut up or put on some more bulk and more weight in some ways. I know, Jacob, you were talking about LVN earlier. He definitely looks bigger this year. But yeah, I mean, Stackhouse, Brinson, those guys, they're monsters. It's not about that though, right? You can be a monster, but if you can't process and you can't play,
right,
we can't win with you. So it's going to be fun to watch them to develop. But physically, yeah, definitely physically imposing for sure.
Is this true that Brinson is bigger than Stackhouse? Bates, really? I did not realize that because you see Stackhouse is just
Well, Brinson's got an inch on him, but Stackhouse has got a couple more lbs on him.
Yeah, but when you see Stackhouse, though, the thing that sticks out to me, and granted, I'm watching, on footage, he does not look fat. His legs look ripped. His arms are cut up. This dude is a specimen.
And the agility that he has is also something that really jumps out at you when you watch him work, because that's a big boy moving around the way he does. And he doesn't miss a beat, man. Got really good footwork, and I think he'll develop nicely.
Yeah. All right, moving along here as we get into a little deeper into the defensive side of the ball here. Defensive performance. Defense has been active in recent practices, forcing pass breakups, interceptions, and fumbles. Notable plays: Rashawn Gary punched the ball out of Jaden Reed, out from Jaden Reed as he went out of bounds. That was earlier today. Kenny Clark created pressure up the middle, leading to Jordan Love throwing towards Tyron Hopper, who forced an interception. So that tells the entire story there, as we talked about earlier, Jacob, when we were live. Kenny Clark, pressure, pick, right? Pressure, pick, coverage, sack. We talk about it all the time. So Tyron Hopper, it's good to see him in the INT column there, and Kenny Clark already getting pressure there up the middle. Now, you got to take into consideration, too, who was the starting center, right? We're without our starting center, so probably a little bit of that going on. But, look, you can only play the guy in front of you, so kudos to Kenny there. Love seeing Rashawn Gary's name all over this camp as well. And more importantly, Jacob, it's awesome. Every time Tim giving us footage from the sidelines, what are we seeing? He's right there in Coach Covington's hip pocket, man.
Yeah, and honestly, Tim could probably speak to this more than I can, but it seems like he's taken a special bond with him. You know what I mean? Where he's taking him under his wing, like saying, "Hey, man, I know what you have," and I hope it's this way, that he honestly thinks like this dude has a bunch of untapped potential that maybe I could unleash. And I'm not saying Rashawn Gary isn't already a great player, but if he has just even 1 or 2 or 3% that they can unlock that makes him into, let's call it, a Myles Garrett, a Joey Bosa, whatever the guys, what you want to say is like that type of player. I think that he doesn't get enough respect on his name, definitely in the NFL. I actually did see an interview with Ryan Clark, which, don't get me wrong, not a fan. ESPN was spent a whole day. I watched, they had like a good 45 minutes worth of interviews with these guys. And there was one where Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark went up there with RC and with another gal that I don't know or care to know. It was just interesting to see that, she was a Bears fan. That's why I said that.
Okay, gotcha. I was going to say, Jake, do we need to end the show? I'm saying, man.
So that's why I'm giving you shade. But no, I just, hey, thank you. I'm just saying that,
Jen Wright said she was so dumb. I love it.
You think God never farted?
I love it. Jen said, "I'll say it for you, fellas. I know you're trying to be polite here."
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you. No, it was interesting to see how Gary's mentality is, and that's a guy that absolutely came out of Michigan as somebody that was quote unquote an edge setter, that really wasn't like the type of athlete that people really thought he should be. Like, he is a freak. He's a physical freak, and I think that we have underestimated what Gary can do, because if we do allow him to pin his ears back and just be an absolute quarterback hunter, he can be a Myles Garrett. He can be a Bosa. He can be a TJ Watt. I really do believe that, and I really do hope that Jeff Hafley into year 2 understands that that he's got a dog. He's got to unleash him.
Right. Yeah. All right. Another note here, Tim. Defense showed strong ball pursuit, continuation from last season under Jeff Hafley. Tyron Hopper played a role other than mock linebacker with the second team defense for the first time in 4 practices. So typically they would throw him into the mock, a mock linebacker, guys. He's kind of the quarterback of the defense, and he's what we call a gap destroyer, right? Yeah. That's Tyron Hopper. Tyron Hopper's a thumper. And you guys know we talked about Adrian Cooper putting on 20 pounds of muscle, kind of perked up the ears a little bit and said, they trying to beef him up to be a thumper here, So Tyron Hopper, man, the fact that they're moving him around a little bit now, Tim, I think that's also, I think it's a good sign. You may see him, man. He may leapfrog the rest of these guys. He may beat Isaiah Simmons out for that third linebacker spot. I hope that happens. I truly do.
Yep.
Although, Tyron Hopper does not have the athletic ability that obviously Isaiah Simmons possesses, but we know that's not everything when it comes to playing back. I mean, you got to have that first step.
That's right. And Tyron Hopper also has another distinct advantage is this is year 2 in Jeff Hafley's system for him and year 1 for Simmons. So he's definitely going to be a little bit more up to speed. So if the physical part does come around, and I think it will with him getting to play a little Will or a little Sam once in a while, especially with Quay still kind of rehabbing like we discussed earlier, no need to rush him. This is going to be really cool because we've been talking about Tyron Hopper since last year. We've seen him flash. I know that's the most overused word this time of year, but the flashes are already there. They've been there with Hopper. So him getting some experience in other roles is great, I think, for this defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. All right, let's move on to offensive highlights. As you guys know, if you've been on X today at all, Matthew Golden shined a little bit today in practice. Really excited about this. So Matthew Golden had strong hands, making notable receptions, including a red zone slant at the goal line. I think, Tim, he caught 2 touchdown passes in red zone drills, if I remember correctly. One from Love, one from Malik Willis. So It seems like Matthew Golden, that was one of the things we had on the scouting report. When we watched the college tape and we did our film breakdown of him, we said it over and over and over. Strong hands at the catch point. Also knows how to high point the ball really well. Reminds you of a Greg Jennings. Very fluid, not an overly large receiver, obviously, just kind of an average size receiver, but strong hands, fluid in and out of his breaks with route running, and just has a knack for high pointing the ball. So.
A guy who plays in time, on time, all the time. You ever notice that? That would be the most intangible thing about Matthew Golden, from what I've observed, is just like you talk about high pointing the ball. He's not the tallest dude in the world, right? He's got a hell of a vertical leap, but that's all about timing, body position. You talk about fluidity and compression in your route running, and when you stick that defender and bury that foot in the dirt and explode out of that route. He's a very in-time player, and he looks extremely polished. He does not look like a rookie physically out there on the field at all.
Yeah, and goes on to say wide receiver room is crowded, but undrafted free agent Sam Brown out of Miami is a name to watch for a practice squad spot. We keep talking about, if you try to sneak Malik Heath on the practice squad, he may get snatched up. If you try to sneak Bo Melton on the practice squad, he may get snatched up. Insert any of these bottom of the roster players because the wide receiver room all of a sudden looks pretty darn deep. Maybe Sam Brown is that guy, Jacob, to kind of, if those guys do get poached off the practice squad, you got the next practice squad player ready to step into that role here in Sam Brown. So.
Yeah, I believe also, is it Julian Hicks? We got guys like Cornelius Johnson, absolute studs. Like it is pretty impressive. And also, I know Tim's muted right now, but the guy from Colorado, was it West
Shepard?
Will Shepard.
We got a deep well going in there, and that's not saying that, like, obviously we have a great wide receiver core right now, but it's even more impressive the fact that if again, God forbid anything happens to them, that we have a depth of guys we can bring up from that practice squad to the point where I really do think that no matter what happens this year, no matter how many injuries happen, that we're going to have a great wide receiver room. I really do think that.
No, I agree, man. I think it's going to be awesome to see how that wide receiver room shakes out. It also goes on to say Sam Brown worked with third-team offense, received red zone targets, expressed motivation from going undrafted, focusing on hard work daily. And then moving on to Malik Heath. In year 3, he aims to showcase versatility beyond red zone targets and blocking, focusing on route running and overall play. Malik Heath, again, we talked about it, his receptions over expected, catches over expected. I think he led the Packers' entire roster in that regard. So definitely someone that I think maybe has a little bit better chance than most people probably believe he does moving forward here too. So quarterback rotations. Let's get into that a little bit. All right. QB3 reps rotated daily. Sunday was Taylor Elgersma's turn to take the bulk of team snaps over Sean Clifford. So Taylor Elgersma got to showcase a little bit of what he's doing today. So it does really feel like practice squad quarterback is a battle. Malik Willis is your solidified backup quarterback. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. So you got Jordan Love, Malik Willis, and now there's this internal battle between Taylor Elgersma and Sean Clifford for that practice squad QB spot. I don't know, though, Tim. You never know, man. They may carry 2 on the practice squad if they show that much faith in both of them.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll carry 2 quarterbacks. I think they may want to carry an extra, if they can get away with it, right? Whether that be a corner or a receiver or something. But that's why I think, to your point, it's like, it's true. Keep an eye on that battle. You got Clifford and the Canadian here battling it out. And I tell you, man, Taylor Elgersma that dude looks like a quarterback, man. That guy's built like a quarterback. He hums the tater. If he can get that processing and that playbook down, it would not surprise me if he did, sneak past Sean Clifford for that last spot. But it's still early. You could be right. Maybe all 4 of these guys are on this team. We don't know.
Out of all the 30 visits that we broke down in our Patreon page, Taylor Elgersma was probably my favorite one. Yep. I got a cup of coffee on a Saturday morning, and I sat down at the table downstairs at the breakfast room, and I was like, I don't want to waste time writing on it. This dude's going to be gone so quick. By the time I got through writing up that article and that scouting report on him, I was like, damn, this boy can ball. Where did he come from?
Yep.
Canada, eh? All right. So I'm excited to see what he does. All right, moving along to back to the defensive side of the ball. I know, is he just not a hoss?
Sounds like it, Van Ness, bro.
Yeah, that game was so much fun to watch them. They turned that pass rush loose once they jumped up to 2.5, 3 scores, whatever it was. And boy, oh boy, did LVN just absolutely assault Will Levis that whole game. But pass rush and run defense. Lucas Van Ness had sound pass rush reps over 4 practices so far, so it sounds like he's shown a lot of consistency. Undrafted free agent Nazir Stackhouse showed good run defensive snaps, creating push. I bet he did. He looks like a damn gorilla out there, dude. He looks like Bigfoot, man. I'm just telling you. You guys got to go look at the picture. Brenton Cox Jr. got into the backfield on some pass rush attempts. No surprise there. He led the Packers in quarterback pressure percentage last year, right? Red zone work. Significant focus on red zone drills today, with defense throwing various looks, challenging quarterbacks who often had no clear passing options. We talked about Jordan Love struggling a little bit there in the red zone from time to time today on the live tweets. So with the end of practice scenarios, all right, each offense started at the 12-yard line with 9 seconds left. All right. Malik Willis initially had no open receivers, but found Luke Musgrave over the middle around the 40-yard line, likely tackled short of the goal line with time expiring. All right. Next play here. Not next play necessarily in order, but there's just kind of a little highlight reel for y'all. Jordan Love with no initial options and little time through to the back of the end zone, out of reach of Romeo Doubs on his first play of the red zone drill. With 4 seconds left, Love found Tucker Kraft in the end zone, boxing out Evan Williams after McDuffie blitzed, and Love backpedaled, I think is what that said. Yeah, got mixed up there. So, yeah, Jordan Love finding Tucker Kraft, who mossed Evan Williams. Want to hear a lot of that this year, Jacob. I think Tucker Kraft's going to take a huge step forward, man.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that I sincerely, to the depth of my core, believe that Tucker Kraft is going to be a top 3 tight end in this league. I really do believe that. We've dived into the metrics, specifics, and he was at least top 5, top 10, Clayton, right? With most of the offensive, most notable things. And I think
he averaged out on the most important statistics that I think are most important in NFL Pro. He averaged out 6 in the entire league.
Okay. And I don't think the NFL is putting any sort of respect on his name. Anytime I hear for instance, for fantasy, whatever, they'll be like, here's the top, 5, top 10 tight ends that you need to get on your team. Nobody talks about Tucker Kraft, and it's just weird for me. It's weird because he is absolutely a monster. You looked at every single one of his touchdown catches are I hate saying miraculous, but he earned them, dude. He's either stiff arming guys, he's diving for the ball, he's making one arm grabs. He's, the guy has just consistently been underrated his whole career. If I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that he was offered to go to Alabama at one point, and he said, "No, I'm going to stay in South Dakota. I'm going to be a jackrabbit." And like that to me is a guy that is a loyal individual. Obviously, we know what happened with I believe he lost his father, which is just kind of a weird coincidence that a lot of the Packers players share together. And I just can't say enough about him. He is literally, if I could clone myself, go back in time and like, hey, I want to live a life, I'm going Tucker Craft, baby. I'm going there. I'm smoking lawn darts. I'm getting them Bush lattes, bro. Oh man, I am having me a time in South Dakota fields. That's what I'm doing.
Tim, if he did indeed choose South Dakota State over Alabama, do you think it's because they didn't have a forklift program down there? Do you think that's what it
Probably. I think he was trying to. He wasn't sure if they were forklift certified or not. You never know. I do think it's true though, Jacob, what you're saying. He's kind of been brushed aside or kind of overlooked a little bit, especially on the national stage. When you look at the league from the bird's eye view, I remember last year seeing all the network promos on National Tight Ends Day, and they'd put all the tight ends on the promo, and there's no Tucker Craft on there, but
and he's trained with George Kittle. He's been with those guys. He knows what it takes to be that type of guy.
He's kind of part of that club of that next era of these tight ends that are going to be considered the greats. And I agree with you. I think he has no ceiling whatsoever, and he is a guy that continues to get better and improves. We've seen it. We've seen it ever since he got here.
Yeah. And I was hearing this earlier today as well. Whoever put this up on the screen. Green Bay is still projected to be the youngest team in the league as it sits right now. Bates says here, youngest teams like RO said, talking about Respect Orange has said here in the chat, believe these are projections. The Packers are 25.15 years old. The Eagles are 25.4, Jets 25.41, and the Jaguars 25.59 is the age there. So looks like they're going to be the youngest team in the league again.
Let's go.
As Goody says, it's a young man's game, right? But you look at some of the additions.
Yep.
And like we said, we added some veterans to the group, which is a good thing. Your Aaron Bankses, your Nate Hobbses, your McCole Hardmans, those type of guys. So still want to know, though.
When it comes to the
Bates over GPT. Bates is on it, man. I'm just telling you.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I think he is. I think he's faster than ChatGPT.
I was just gonna say this. Bates is our Jamie.
Yeah, look it up, Jamie. There's nothing funnier than seeing Theo Vaughn on the Joe Rogan show and him telling Jamie to look something up. Yeah. It's just
right.
It cracks Joe up every time. Like, look it up.
Jamie's probably look at him like, I don't work for you, dude.
When he talked about the bees exploding, the bees are exploding. I won't
look
say
it up, Jamie.
He said, "Look it up, Jamie. Look it up." All right, let's go to the key plays, rapid fire. Here's some of the key plays that were noted at today's training camp practice number 4. Jordan Love threw 3 touchdown passes during red zone, emphasis finishing 8 of 13 in passing. Love's first touchdown was a perfect strike to Jaden Reed at the sideline, about 5 yards deep in the end zone, noted as one of the best throws of the summer. Now, we talked about the throw to Dontavion Wicks a couple of days ago, 23-yard out route it was on a dime, absolutely beautiful. Love threw a scoring strike to rookie Matthew Golden in the back of the end zone after having time in the pocket. The play of the day was Love's touchdown pass with 4 seconds left, backpedaling to avoid linebacker Isaiah McDuffie, who was blitzing, and delivering a 30-yard pass to tight end Tucker Craft, who won a 50-50 ball against Evan Williams for the score. Goes on to say Love's pass to Luke Musgrave in the end zone was incomplete due to excellent coverage by Isaiah McDuffie. So you're hearing about McDuffie blitzing. You're hearing about him dropping into coverage in the red zone. Actually made a play there on the Luke Musgrave.
Look at that. Get that. We got it in writing. Excellent coverage by Isaiah McDuffie. Who would have thought, right? I thought that was our run stuffer. Look at Zay McDuffie getting out there in coverage. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So anything you guys want to add to the Jordan Love highlight reel here in terms of what happened today? Anything at all? Sounds like he's having a good camp. It really does. It's early, but it sounds like he's having a really good camp.
Yeah, I mean, I will just say one thing. Like, people talk about how camp stats don't matter. I think Ryan touched on it this morning on his podcast. Like, but if you're as good at, like, let's say for instance, not necessarily a quarterback, but like with McManus, that camp stat means a lot. Dude's 15 of 15. I think there's in the same way that like if you talk about a quarterback, you know, that like, hey, he hasn't thrown a pick, like he's on it. Like, yeah, it's a limited, you know, selection, and obviously it's guys going against guys that aren't quite in pads yet. So take that with a grain of salt. But I think there is something to be said that like if Love is on, it's on. And we're you know, Aaron Rodgers used to I feel like he used to just kind of bait the defense with just throwing whatever he could throw kind of thing. And that's, you know, that's one way of handling the offseason. But I think that Jordan Love is kind of maybe taking it a little more, I hate saying more serious, as if Rodgers didn't take it serious. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think that he's more of like trying to put pen to paper and saying like, this is what we got to do. We have to execute, where I think Rodgers like, I don't give a you know, let's just throw it. Let's see what happens. Like, let's test them. And I really do think that Jordan Love has been pretty, I will say, let's compare what Jordan Love's quote unquote stats are in the offseason to a guy like, I don't know, Caleb Williams, you know, where the NFL media and the local town media are already calling him out. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
Bro, he's getting raked over the coals. And it's
Yes,
funny
he is.
too. We did a 4-minute segment on our show talking about it. And boy, oh boy, did the Bears fans come running into the comments. I mean, and it's just like, you guys are blowing this out of proportion, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right.
The coach had to stop practice like 2 times to be like, get off the field. Get off the field.
What are you
guys
doing?
are dookie and all over the field.
And I'll say my piece on camp. And this isn't meant toward anybody specifically, especially Ryan, not meant toward Ryan at all. I see a lot of people on X that when you show a video from camp or you talk about something happening, it's training camp, calm down. Don't watch. Nobody's asking you to watch. Nobody asked you for your input. You say it doesn't matter. You say you don't care, but boy, damn, you care just enough to comment on somebody's tweet, don't you? Like, why not just pretend? You know what? I hate basketball. I hate basketball with passion. You know what I don't tweet about? Basketball. I don't watch it. I don't vote. It just cracks me up how people are like, oh, calm down. Okay. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. I will reach out to you and let you know what my plans are to watch on the boob tube tonight, and you give me approval or not if I'm allowed to talk about it, watch it, think about it, whatever. It just cracks me up, man. Anyway, this right here got me excited. Near the goal line, Marshawn Lloyd ran over defensive tackle Kobe Wooden on a handoff, though it was unclear if Lloyd got underneath or if Wooden stumbled. Tim, I need confirmation here. Wooden get murdered out there by Marshawn Lloyd, or did he fall down, sir?
Don't know if I saw that play. I don't think I saw that play, so I cannot quote on that.
I seen a
I
couple.
plead the fifth.
I seen a couple pictures of Marshawn Lloyd. One specifically that stood out to me was he was behind Izzy, the new running back they signed. Marshawn Lloyd looks thick. He looks thicker. He looks like he put on a little bit of weight. He looking like
thick.
I'm excited to see what Marshawn Lloyd does now that he's healthy. So Malik Willis threw a short touchdown pass to Matthew Golden. So Golden caught touchdown passes from both Malik Willis and Jordan Love. Make a little note. I'm telling you guys.
It's one from Clifford and one from Elgersma in a preseason game too. Watch.
And then one from McManus on a fake field goal where they flip it over the shoulder to the kicker
Let's
and let
go.
him chuck that thing in the end zone. Need one of those too.
McManus has got an arm, man. I saw him spinning it a little bit out there the last couple of days before practice. He can throw it.
Yeah. The old bot got this one wrong. Kamal Haddon, a first-year cornerback, it's actually his second year, made a diving deflection on a pass to Romeo Dobbs near the goal line. I think we talked about that. They were trying to throw maybe a back shoulder throw, and he full extension swatted it away. So Kamal Haddon, I believe it was Kamal Haddon. That might have been Kalen King, but nonetheless, Kamal Haddon making plays out here too. Rome, like I would not put up with the slander. Omar Brown, also another second-year safety there, made a diving deflection in the
Let's go. That's our guy, Jacob. Nebraska zone, baby.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, honestly, that it doesn't it make you feel really good, Tam? Every now and then we're right. It doesn't happen often. It's about 10%.
Even a blind dog finds
10%.
his ass once a day, Jacob. Come on now.
Very well said, Tim. Very well said. All right, so that's just kind of a rundown. We did that pretty good, man. 1 hour, we did good there. So that's a rundown of everything that happened in camp. We were going to get in a little Dontavion Wicks conversation here and talk about how he's looking to rebound from last year. Maybe we'll hold that over till tomorrow if camp doesn't spill too deep into the show. So let's go ahead and do a giveaway. We'll wrap this thing up, man. Y'all ready to give away an autographed rookie Dontavion Wicks card?
We got the
Let's
pinky
go.
wheel
Hit it while
coming?
you're hot. Someone's gonna get lucky here because when he shoots to the moon this year, boy, I tell you, card's gonna get valuable.
That's
Who's
it.
it gonna be?
Absolutely. So I need somebody in the chat. Tony Holman, you're already on it, rigged. All right. Somebody in the chat, give me a number between 1 and 10. Between
Come on.
1 and 10.
Come on, chat. 1 and 10.
Got to be quick. 1 and 10.
4.
4, says
Brett
Chris.
Favre.
All right. Dang. 9. 6,
We got 13 as well.
All right. My goodness. Which one do we go with now? They're going to say they're
Go
all
with
red.
Brett Favre, number 4.
We got
Let's
to
go
go
with-
4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, let's go 4 with Chris Casualian. All right, so what we're going to do is shuffle this thing 4 times, even though y'all are still going to say it's rigged. It's okay. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to spin this. And again, these are our YouTube members. Just hit that join tab if you're in that group, or you join our Patreon group, as Jake says it's rigged. Our Patreon group, too. $3 gets you access to everything, including entered into the giveaways. Here's a way you can cheat a little bit. You can do both. There's many people on there that's figured that out. They'll join on YouTube and they'll join the Patreon group as well. But again, it's just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the channel. Let's go. The autographed Dontavion Wicks rookie card donated by our good friend Rick Kruger goes to
Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy.
What we got?
Rodney Jins. Big Rod.
Rodney Jins.
Rodney Jins. Let me write this down over here so I don't forget here. Rodney Jins is the winner of the Wicks card. All right. So what we're going to do in case Rodney Jins is in the clink or fled the country, we will go ahead and spin it again. If he does not come forward and get his prize, then the winner of the Dontavion Wicks card is Jacob Clay.
That's me and you.
That sounds like you and Jacob made an
That's
alias.
we win on this. No doubt. All right.
What
And
the
then
hell?
Apologies to Jacob Clay, the real Jacob Clay.
Yes, we apologize. You've got a great name, sir. If
Poor
he
guy.
does not come forward, then the card will go to, this is the final time we'll spin it. We'll wrap this big bear up here. Third place winner is Dave Colvin. Dave Colvin. So, again, the winner is Rodney Jins. Rodney, shoot me a DM, whether you're in Patreon. If you're in Patreon, shoot me a DM there. If you're just on YouTube, send me a text message to 865-658-5824 or an email to PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. All right. If we don't hear from Rodney, Jacob Clay, the card will go to you. You do the same thing. Dave Colvin, you do the same thing as well. That way we'll have you guys kind of in the hopper in case Rodney does not come forward. So there you go. Anything else, guys? I think we've pretty much covered it all here.
No. As per usual, the chat thinks we've absolutely rigged this. So
Don't
don't
worry,
blame-
nobody's listening anyway.
thank you, Tim.
All right. So next week, we're coming up this week, we're going to be giving away an autographed Luke Musgrave card. All right. That's what's going to be next on the giveaway. It's a rookie Luke Musgrave card that we'll be giving away. We got some jerseys coming up too. So I'm excited. We're going to get into. Did Emilio take the money to self-deport? Is what Chewy asks here. You know, I don't know if Emilio made it back out of New York, to be honest with you guys. He went up to see family, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We may need to check on him. Then again, I'm not going to. You know what I mean? He'll be all right. He's a big boy. So recently got
Quit
married.
asking.
Yeah. He pulled out all the stops, though, man. He tried to get married to gain citizenship, and evidently it didn't work. We haven't seen him since then. So, all right. Detained is what Brambo said in all caps. All right. Anything else, boys? We good?
Pads come on tomorrow.
That's
Put
right,
your,
man.
Put your big boy pants on.
Yeah.
Pads come on tomorrow. Let's go.
So we're about to separate the men from the boys tomorrow at training camp. We'll be right here, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live to break down all of that action. We appreciate everybody who joined us today. Record numbers across the board. Guys, I got a notification, several notifications from YouTube. I went, oh, no, we did something wrong. We did not. We've hit all kinds of milestones. And I know one of them was it's something crazy over the last, let me just give you guys an update real quick. Over the last 7 days, all right, the last 7 days here on the channel, we have gotten 71,000 views in the last 7 days on the channel.
Oof.
In the last 28 days, so the last month, we have now racked up 210,000 views on the channel. That's because you guys and gals are willing to hit that like button, tune in, hang out with us, comment in the chat, you share it amongst people that you know. I'm telling you, you guys getting the word out and just taking a second to hit that like button, man. It makes all the difference in the world. So thank you guys.
Fan right here.
So much for all of your help. As a matter of fact, it's showing yesterday alone, we had 14,200 views yesterday. So we are even trending up. We're on a higher pace at this point than we were, 3 days ago. So really, really appreciate everybody. Y'all are awesome. So last question there. Who was it that? Boogaloo Batty. All right. I like it. Look at that profile pic too, man. That looks like every one of my uncles at my family reunion right there. He says, sign Rasul, ? I'm not against it. Veteran minimum. Get him in here. Give him a chance to make the roster. Why not? Right? Now, if
veteran minimum, if it's veteran minimum,
pay that man his money.
If it comes down to the end, though, and you feel like him and Kalen King are neck and neck, or him and Kamal Haddon are neck and neck, give me the young guy. No progress stopper.
No progress stoppers. Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind Rasul being on the team. A little veteran. But we just got through talking about it, right? You need more veterans on the team. That might be one. So Jake G126 will end it with this. He said, bringing Lombardi home this year. Amen to that, sir.
Love that energy, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, that's it. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for making us a part of your evening. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.